Hello and welcome to Mandarines. My name is Melody and this is episode 20. It's been a while since I last recorded. It's been almost a month, if not a month already. Last time that I recorded, I was in the woods and it was right at the end of summer, beginning of fall, and the weather was really nice, and I thought that I would be able to record the next episodes in the woods. So I waited. I need to record the episodes during the weekend, so I waited for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and we've been so busy that we didn't manage to go to the woods and record, and it's been raining. So one thing led to another, and it's been very busy here, and during the day I didn't really have the time to sit and record. It's not so much the recording time that takes time, it's the editing videos and posting videos on YouTube. For some reason I need to upload the video twice because it always crops the end of my videos, so it means that I need to upload them a second time, and usually it takes about an hour to do that. So yeah, I just didn't really have the time to do that. And when I was about to record a new episode, I had a little accident. So yeah, I couldn't go to the woods because I thought of going this weekend, but that wasn't possible. Anyway, the good thing about not recording for so long is that I have a lot of things to talk about and a lot of things to show you, so let's get started. I'm going to start with my works in progress, and I have one that is over there that I didn't bring with me, and I'm not going to move because moving is a bit painful these days. So, works in progress. What am I working on? Yes. So last time that we talked, I was working on my Wolf River sweater. I was still working on the back. I think I didn't cast on the front, and I actually cast on. I think it was at the beginning of last week, and because of that injury, I needed to stay still. So I spent a lot of time here in my new studio, by the way. The day before the injury, I decided to move the couch from the room over there to this room. So right now, this is our living room slash my little studio. So I will try to show you later in the future. So I have the big couch here, and I just ordered a massive working table that I'm going to put next to the window. So I will work from there in the future instead of having all of my things in the kitchen on the kitchen table and moving things from one place to another at the end of the day when we're supposed to have dinner on the kitchen table. So really looking forward to having my little space where I can work. So I finished the back and the front of my sweater, and I blocked it. It's not completely dry yet, but I blocked it yesterday. So front and back are the same. Whoops. So this is beautiful. This is very beautiful. I'm just a bit afraid that it will be too big. Just a little concerned. but the sweater has 5 inches of positive ease, so I guess it's totally normal that it looks a bit massive at this point. I just hope that I won't look like a potato bag in my sweater. Um, but I really really love the cables, which are actually not cables. It's a lace stitch that uses increases and decreases and twisted stitches, and so the cables are actually knit and SSK and knit together, so it gives this very beautiful texture, and the pattern is very very addictive, because once you completed one part of the chart, so this is one cable is like one part, you just honestly you just want to keep going and do just one more cable and one more cable and one more cable, and before even noticing it, you're almost at the top of the sweater, starting the decreases for the collar. So super super addictive. I think the front part took me 4 days. Yeah, I finished the back or the front yesterday, and I knit for three hours straight. Yeah, and it's just because it took me a little bit longer for the shoulders, because you have to look at the pattern. There's decreases and sharp rows and things like that, but when you just work on the actual pattern, it goes really really fast. Yeah, so I'm super super excited. I will have to wait until it will be completely dry. Then I will have to seam the sides, so it's a seam sweater. Seam the sides and knit the sleeves and knit the collar. So really really excited about that. And the yarn that I'm using, I bought 2 skins of Cascade Yarn Ecological Wool, and that is the platinum colorway, and that's what I have left. So I hope that I will have enough for the sleeves and the collar. I hope so. So that's my first work in progress. I have another one. So if you remember, in the last podcast I talked about the little baby bear jacket, and I'm almost done with the second sleeve, so I'm going to put a dent into that and get it ready, get it done very soon, because the weather is changing so fast, and even though the baby is not 1 year old yet, I just don't want to have this on top of my head and just think that, oh my goodness, the baby still is growing, and I will end up giving a 1 year old sweater to a 3 or 4 years old baby. So I need to get this done. Next, I did a little tutorial on the Pom Pom quarterly blog for Blocky Mittens. So if you remember, in the last podcast I mentioned that one of my recent patterns has been published in the Pom Pom Quarterly Autumn 2015, and the pattern is a pair of mittens that feature a lace panel on the front. And when I designed the pattern, I knew that it was very very important to block the mittens in a certain way to get a really flat texture, because when you knit this specific stitch, it creates a lot of waves because of the decreases and increases, and that's not something that was appealing to me. I really wanted to have something flat and to show the stitch pattern very well. So I just made a quick tutorial on the pom-pom block to explain how to block the mittens, and that's very important if you want to have the same final measurements, and if you want to have pretty mittens. So this is the mitten that I have used for the tutorial. So this is blocked, and you can see on the tutorial that I have pictures of before and after, and it's very, very different, because here we can see that it's very smooth. It's not wonky or anything, it's flat, and you can see the little fern lace very well. So I don't know if you remember, but in the last podcast, did I mention that I went to Tallinn? I don't remember. So I went to Tallinn, so it was more than a month ago, and I bought 2 skins for myself of Estonian wool. So one of them was this color, and the other one, this color. So it's a dusky pink, very, very pretty. And I didn't know which color to use, but I ended up knitting with this color. And I really, really love it. It's a fingering weight yarn because there's 350 meters for 100 grams. And I decided to hold it double to make the pair of mittens. So yeah, I finished the pair. I just need to weave in the ends, and I thought of keeping this pair for myself, but orange is my mom's favorite color, and it's been a tradition since I started knitting 3 or 4 years ago. I've been gifting a knitted piece to my mom for Christmas, so this year is no exception, and she really likes the mittens, so I thought that would be really, really nice. And even though orange is not my favorite color, this is more of a rust, and I think that would look fabulous on her. So yeah, but that also means that I still don't have a pair of Woodland Tails mittens, so I might eventually end up knitting with this yarn, or try to find another yarn that I would like to use. But I love this yarn so much, and I can't wait to go back to Tallinn and grab some more, because they had really pretty colorways, and this is such a nice souvenir. You know, you travel to another country or to another city and you discover souvenir shops or yarn shops, and you just cannot help but buying yarn as souvenirs. And every time that I look at this little skein, it reminds me of that beautiful day. It was such a gorgeous day, of that beautiful day in Tallinn, and it just makes me want to go back and just have another awesome day. In fact, we're actually planning of going back this fall, so if I can manage to get a couple of more skeins, I will be very happy, because this is a very beautiful yarn. It's 100% wool, but you would expect something very rustic from the Baltic, or from a wool that comes from Scandinavia or the Baltics, but it's actually pretty soft for a woolly yarn. So I don't know if it's not written if the wool comes from Thailand or if the wool has been imported and processed in Estonia. But either way, it's beautiful. The yarn doesn't have knots inside, which is very important. I had a couple of problems with yarn from Latvia that had at least 3 knots in one skein of chunky weight yarn, and that's not something very nice when you knit. So yeah, very, very happy with this one. What else? Knitting. I am knitting on a new design. It's been a work in progress for quite a while, but I've been so busy with other things that I didn't have time to work more on this, and it's a shame because I love the yarn and the pattern is beautiful. So I worked on it this morning because I cannot move so much, so I sat on the couch and I needed to wait for the Wolfier sweater to block to dry. So I managed to work a bit on that, and I'm very, very pleased. I'm using Jamieson & Smith. This is the 2-ply jumper weight yarn, and it's one of my favorite colorways from them. It's the shade FC61 Mix. It's so pretty. It's grayish blue. It's heathery, and I really, really like it. So I'm working on that. It shouldn't hopefully take me too long to get this done. Yeah, so that's another work in progress. I didn't work on my quill. If you remember, last time I was working on the attached border, and each side so it's a square, so each side has more than 200 stitches, and when you work an attached border, you need to bind off as you go. So you need to bind off every single stitch that you work on the side, and you knit a small portion of the border, so it's maybe 8 stitches. So that doesn't seem like a lot of knitting, but when you are actually knitting, that's a lot of knitting. And I've just been doing so many things that I didn't have the time to work on that. But as I mentioned before, I'm not rushing to get this done. It will be done when it will be done, and it's relaxing knitting. So I will work on it a bit later, but at the moment I have other priorities. There's a couple of things that I'm really, really excited about. But what's next? That was a finished object. Yes, I'm going to talk about this. So, at the moment, I'm working on a new collaboration with Melissa from Emsky Knits. She has the With Mel blog and podcast, and she invited me to collaborate on a new project that is very dear to her heart, and it's called 6-Bit Storybooks. 6-Bit Storybooks is a digital publication that is going to be published at least 4 times a year, if not 5. And it will feature patterns, knitting patterns, articles, and a lot of beautiful things. And the very first issue comes up the 15th of October, so it's coming very, very soon. So if you want to learn more about this new venture, you can go to 6bitstorybooks.com and you can learn more about our story and what you can expect from the first issue. And yeah, we're super excited about that. I have a couple of patterns that are going to be published in the first issue, and one of them is using beautiful yarn. All of the patterns are using beautiful yarn, but I just have a bit of leftover to show you from one of the projects. So the yarn that I'm using is by Annie Claire, and that's Full Belly Feels Good yarn. So that's her yarn that she dyed in California. And that's dyed with coyote brush. Is that plant? Yeah, because it's the plant flower that she used, but I'm not familiar with that plant. Or maybe it has not a name. But yeah, I have used 2 skeins of that beautiful yarn. It's organic wool. It's worsted weight yarn, and I love it. Melissa sent me 4 skeins actually, and she let me decide which color I would want for my pattern. So she sent me 2 other skins, and this is darkwood, dyed with darkwood, and some of my hair inside. So that is very pretty. I love it. I just love it so much. So I have a bit more of that yarn left, and I decided to, it's something that I love doing. I bought these little bobbins in a craft fair here in Latvia, and I paid like €1 for this antique. And I like to, just wind up my yarn around this and use it when I knit. Really like it. So yeah, I've been working on new patterns for that, and it took me a really a lot of time, because I created patterns and I worked on the website as well, and I wrote articles and many more things, so it kept me quite busy, and I still have a lot of work to do, and we're already working on the next issues. So yeah, a lot of work, but it's so much fun, and we, as I said, we're so excited to release the first issue. Something else that is coming up is the Shetland Wool Week. So if you remember, last year we had a knit-along for the Shetland Wool Week. The pattern that was featured for the first, that was not the first year of the Shetland Wool Week, but the pattern that was featured was the shroud hat, and we had a really lovely knit-along. And this year we decided to have another knit-along with the Babbly, I don't know how to pronounce that, Babbly hat by Donna Smith. I'm going to show you. So that's the pattern. It's a free pattern that you can download, I guess, on Ravelry or on the Shetland Wool Week blog. So that's the pattern for this year Shetland Wool Week, and we're going to have a knit-along, which is really exciting. The yarn that I will be using is from Shetland, because it's the Shetland Wool Week, and the pattern has been designed with this yarn. So I got, the pattern requires 4 different colors. So I got this is Jamison's Heather. This is the Is It colorway. So it's a very beautiful heathery, very light heathery gray. Cream / gray, I don't really know, but it's very, very pretty. So that will be the body of my sheep. Then I have the Highland Mist colorway. That's for the sky. And I have the Wood Nymph colorway. That's for the pasture, the prairie, on the pattern. And for the head of the sheep, I didn't want to use black, so I went with Letlopi. I don't know about the colorway. It's the dark ash colorway. And I thought that would be very neat because Letlopi has, I don't know if you can see, but it's a bit fluffy compared to this one, the Jamison Heather. And I just thought that maybe I could try, after knitting the pattern, to, I don't know how that works, maybe try to felt the head of the goat, or maybe just the body, you know, to make it fluffy, like if it would be, it's actually wool, but to make it more, just to have more texture. That would be really, really neat. So, and the pattern is so beautiful. I've been wanting to cast it on for such a long time, but when I learned that the pattern would be the pattern used for this year's Shetland Wool Week, I thought that, hey, let's have a knit along. So this pattern is inspired by the sheep of Shetland and the wintry colors of the land and sky. This hat is made in iron weight yarn, so it's a quick knit. 2 colors of yarn are used through the main part of the hat, making it a very firm, cozy garment to keep out the wind. And there's no starry. I'm surprised that there's no starry here, because maybe it's on the Ravelry project pattern page, because Donna Smith said that she got inspired by the view outside of her window to design this pattern, and I cannot imagine how beautiful that must be. Just looking at the pictures, I can imagine what she's seeing through her window. Well, you can see it here. So for this year's Shetland Wool Week, the Shetland 60 Degrees North magazine has decided to release the Shetland Wool Week annual. So this year is 2015, obviously. And this is a magazine that features a couple of articles from designers to, I believe, historians. There's really interesting articles. I didn't have the time to read it through yet because I received my copy this morning. But as I was having my breakfast, I couldn't help but just to look at the pictures, and I read just a couple of things here and there. But there's a couple of patterns from, there's one pattern from Gudrun Johnson. There's her Bellman cardigan that was published in her Shetland Trader Book 2. There's interviews from designers in Shetland. There's a pattern by Ella Gordon, who works in Jamison and Smith, and she's the pretty lady modeling the Bellman cardigan right here. And yeah, there's obviously the sheepy, I'm gonna call it the sheepy hat by Donna Smith, and there's another pattern by her, and it's honestly a very beautiful publication. I bought the 60 degree north knitting issue last year, and when I saw that they were going to release this publication, I got super excited, and I grabbed a copy as soon as I heard that they were taking pre-sales, pre-orders, and it's so beautiful the way the magazine is done. It's very beautiful. You have like big pictures, and everything works so well together. It's beautiful. So for the knit along, we are going to start on the 26th of September. Oh, so it's actually in less than a week. We're starting in less than a week, and we are most probably going to end at the end of October, like last year, just to give people enough time to finish their hats. I suppose that we are going to have new colorwork knitters, as it was last year. And the pattern is very easy because I didn't knit it, but I know that it only uses 2 colors at a time, so we have 2 hands, so we can use both our hands to knit 2 colors, so it's not too complicated. And last year was fantastic, the help that we had in the knit along threads, and it was really nice. So this pattern is very accessible to new colorwork knitters. It's going to be a lot of fun, and yeah, I'm super excited and looking forward to casting on. Last year we had giveaway prizes from Jamieson & Smith, and this year, because the pattern has been written with Jamieson Heather, we are going to have yarn prizes from Jamieson's. And we are also going to have a giveaway for a copy of the Shetland Wool Week Annual. So if you're interested, you can go over the Ravelry group, which is called the Shetland Wool Week Knit Along, so on Ravelry, and you can participate in the thread, show us the colors that you're going to use for your hat, and when we will start the knit along, I will open a thread where you can share your work in progress, and I will have a separate thread with the finished object, and I will select a couple of winners from the thread, and yeah, it's going to be so much fun. I'm super excited. Then I'm going to have some tea. Then I received some yarn recently from lovely people, and I'm so grateful for the yarn that they sent me and the work that has been done to produce these yarns and to dye these yarns. And yeah, I just can't wait to start working with the yarns that I received, but there's just not enough time in the day at the moment to do all of these things. So the first skein that I received is from my friend Anna, who's the owner of Gregoria Fibers. She dyes yarn in Munich at the moment. She lives in Germany, but she's actually from Spain, and she sources her yarn from small farmers in Spain. She's starting to talk with farmers to try to source and just start partnerships with farmers and dye her yarn exclusively from sheep that are raised in Spain. So it's something that I'm very fond about and very touched about. So I just love the work she's doing, and the colorway that she's producing are very, very beautiful. This skin is 100% Spanish wool. I don't know if you can see. It's very uneven. It's so pretty. So it's 80 grams and it's 320 meters, and she dyed it with walnuts. It's so, so, so pretty. I really love it. I don't know what I'm going to knit with it yet. It's a one ply fingering. So yeah, I'm thinking of a pair of mittens. When I see this yarn, I see mittens for some reason, because the yarn is very delicate, and a hat would be great, or a pair of mittens. Yeah, I just adore it. I don't know what to do with it at the moment, so usually what I do is, when I have a yarn that I love so much, I don't want to hide it somewhere in my stash, in the darkest parts of my stash. I like to hang yarn behind me like this. And these skins are mini skins from Moike Yarns. And it's very, very similar to Anna's from Gregoria's Fibers yarns. So these are hand-dyed, and they are from Romania. I have a couple of more colorways over there, because I'm working on some samples, doing some swatches and things like that, and playing with colors, so really, really exciting. Yeah, I will hopefully share some more very soon. Then my friend Vibeke, who's a butterfly in my hair, she's from Norway, and she has a fantastic blog that I highly recommend you to read. And she went to the Lofoten Island, which is one of the northern parts of Norway. And I went there a couple of years ago myself. It was like more than 7 years ago, maybe 10 years ago. Yeah, I was in Lofoten, and I have beautiful memories from that place. And at the time, of course, I was not into knitting or fibers at all, and I had absolutely no interest in sheeps, despite the fact that I love animals. But I didn't even know that sheeps were raised in this part of the world. I don't know if it's even more north than Iceland. I need to check this out after. But I didn't know that you could buy wool from the Lofoten Island. And she bought a skin there. And she said that when she was there, it reminded her of me. So she got me a skin. This is, I don't know if that's fingering weight actually. It says that it should be knit in 3.5 to 4, so it could be fingering or it could be sports, but maybe fingering. And there's 210 meters, which is unusual, so maybe sports, not sure. And yes, it's from sheep that are raised in Lofoten Island, so super, super excited about that. I don't have enough grey in my wardrobe. I want to have more neutrals, and that is a beautiful one. Very, very pretty, and I can't wait to cast with this. I just have two hands, and it's only a couple of hours during the day, so I cannot work on everything. But I guess that's why we have a stash. It's just to have a place. It's like a place of upcoming dreams, or a place where you can, storage your dreams. So, stash and enhancement, then have talked about my works in progress, finished objects. I think that's about it. There's just one more thing that I would like to share. It's just a sneak peek. I've been working on a lot of things lately, as I mentioned before, and something that I've been working on for quite a while, actually a year or a year and a half, and I didn't talk a lot about it because um, I wasn't ready to share anything yet, and I was still at a stage where I wasn't sure of the things that I wanted to do, so I just wasn't ready to share anything. Um, but today, as I'm getting closer and closer to my goal, I feel that I could share, and I started to share a little bit on Instagram as well. So over the past few months, I have been busy in the kitchen and in the woods, and on my computer, sourcing yarn and foraging dyeing material and dyeing yarn. Um, so I have a couple of skins to show you today. Um, yeah, I'm super excited. Going to show you. So this is my little basket with some of the yarn that I have dyed recently. I have some more that are actually dying on my balcony, and I have some more in the dye pots, and I have some more behind me. So that's a lot of yarn, and as much as I love yarn, I'm not going to keep all of them for myself because I don't have enough time to knit everything. So I thought of sharing some of my yarn with you because I know that you love yarn as well. And I'm going to open my shop sometime in October. I don't know yet because there's still a lot of work to do. So sometime in October, hopefully October, I will open my yarn shop. My shop. We're not quite there yet. So these colors, I foraged plants and flowers and things that are local to me here in Latvia, or fruits that I bought in the markets, or things like that. Things that are very local. The colors are local to me. I don't buy dyeing material. Like you could buy it, but I really wanted to have something local to me. So the colors are from here, and the yarn comes from France. I will share more about the breed and things like that in the future when the shop will be open. But this yarn is beautiful. It's extremely soft and rustic at the same time, and it comes from a place that I absolutely adore in France, and it's organic, and I buy the yarn directly from the farmer, so I support his work completely by buying from him because there's no one is making money on his back. He's selling the yarn directly to me. Yes, so that's a big sneak peek, my baskets, and I will keep you updated and tell you when I will have more to share very soon. So I think that's it for this week. It's almost 1 p.m. and I have a lot of work to do, and I need to rest as well a bit. So I'm going to stop recording, and I still need to edit the podcast. So hopefully that will be out very soon, hopefully today or tomorrow. Yeah. So you can find me on Instagram as bmandarines. You can find me on Ravelry as Mandarines. We have a Ravelry group which is called Mandarines. And I also have a blog, which is bmandarines.squarespace.com. Yeah, so that's it for this week. I hope that you are enjoying the beginning of fall, that you are dreaming of knitting, or that you are knitting, dreaming of knitwear, dreaming of, new woolly things to wear. And I will chat with you hopefully very soon. Fingers crossed. Hopefully very soon, and I will have even more things to show you and news to share. So see you soon. Bye.